Eternal echo. The voice that never fade. From the cassette of the city that the dream made. 90 dick gospel rolling through the speaker chrome. The legacy of the West Coast, finding every home. Eternal echo. The voice still ringing. Eternal echo. The city still singing. Eternal echo. The Boulevard alive. Eternal echo. The eternal drive. December 1995, I was 7 years old. My older cousin pulled up in the candy paint gold. Four-door Cutlass with the speakers in the trunk. Windows down, the bass shaking, the city junk. He popped the tape into the deck without a word. A voice came through the system at the corner. Overheard the whole intersection pause. The day stood still. That voice was a sermon nobody else would feel. My cousin not as slow said pay attention right. This the kind of music gonna change your night. 30 years later that cassette still in my chest. Every word a witness for the unfinished test. The eternal echo follow me to every job I worked. To every funeral I attended where the family hurt. To every wedding where the cousins held the line. To every cookout where the abuela served the wine. The voice was never famous on the radio chart, but the cassette traveled deeper than the corporate art. This is what the West Coast gave the next of kin. The voice that taught us how to weather the wind. Eternal echo. The Boulevard remember. Eternal echo. Every September. Eternal echo. The cassette stay warm. Eternal echo. The eternal storm. Grind harder, son, till the echo carry through. Eternal echo. The gospel of the truth. Mr. Otis at the corner of Crenshaw was lost and know the lyrics of the cassette like the gospel of his pop. He played the tape on Sundays at the car wash for the line of customers. Tip extra cause the music feel divine. Mrs. Calderon who lost her son to the streets keeps the cassette in the dashboard of the Cutlass that he beat. She drive it on the anniversary, she drive it on his birthday. The music keep her son alive in the corner of a midday. The eternal echo ain't a sentimental nostalgic move. It's the documentary of the city the news refused to prove. Every verse a piece of history the textbook leave out. Every hook the testimony of the city's quiet shout. I memorized the album by the time I was 8. I knew every breath, every pause, every fate. My cousin took the cassette when he moved out east, but he sent me a copy on a CD for the feast. Every generation handed it down like the family Bible. The eternal echo, the only inheritance that's vital. Eternal echo. The voice still ringing. Eternal echo. The city still singing. Eternal echo. The Boulevard alive. Eternal echo. The eternal drive. Last week I drove my own son to the same intersection where my cousin first played the cassette without correction. I rolled the windows down. I cued the same song. The whole avenue paused. The soft chorus singing along. Mr. Otis tipped his cap. Mrs. Calderon cried. The boy in the back seat soaked it all inside. He asked me who was singing, what year was it from? I told him it don't matter. The eternal echo never come from one voice or one decade or one corner of the map. It come from every soul who recognized the trap and refused to be reduced to the headlines and the crime and insisted on the dignity of the quiet sublime. The eternal echo, the inheritance of the West. The verse that the developer never gonna invest. The gospel of the corner, the gospel of the porch, the boulevard, the cathedral, the unlit, unmarked church. Eternal echo. The Boulevard remember. Eternal echo. Every September. Eternal echo. The cassette stay warm. Eternal echo. The eternal storm. Grind harder, son, till the echo carry through. Eternal echo. The gospel of the truth. Eternal echo. Eternal echo. The voice that traveled forward. From my cousin's Cutlass to my own garage on the Boulevard. Eternal echo. Eternal song. The city of the cassettes. The eternal long. The Long Walk Boulevard. The Long Walk Boulevard. The Long Walk Boulevard. The rhythm of the soul. The rhythm of the soul. The Long Walk Boulevard. The legacy untold. The Long Walk Boulevard. Every Every block a witness. Every block a witness. The long walk. Yeah. Boulevard. The unbreakable lineage. Yeah. Mr. Bus on a Tuesday after working the late shift. Walking home 4 miles, the city giving me the gift. The time to see the ones the suburbanites ignore. Mr. Otis sweeping leaves at the corner, Syria door. Mrs. Park watering plants on the laundromat sealed. Little Eric on his bicycle delivering the bill for the bookkeeper at the corner who do the taxes free. For the elders without paperwork who paid the family fee. The Long Walk Boulevard tell stories without script. Every storefront a chapter in the city's manuscript. I saw a brother feeding strays behind the Panaderia. I saw a sister praying at the bus stop with the litany. I saw the homeless preacher quoting Maya Angelou aloud. A hat for tips beside him with a $1 proud. The city, the suburbs never see the city of the route. The Long Walk Boulevard, the audit of the doubt. The Long Walk Boulevard, the city in my chest. The Long Walk Boulevard, the saints I never blessed. The Long Walk Boulevard, the eyes I never met. The Long Walk Boulevard, the eternal day. 3 blocks from my apartment, I passed the elementary. The one I went to 20 years ago, the broken century. Mrs. Patterson still teaching, still with the patience, still walking kids across the crosswalk through the migration. She waved at me, she still remember every name. I bought her tamales last December, the same flame. The Long Walk Boulevard revealed the architecture true. The ones who held the city up while the corporate withdrew. Mr. Ray is at the auto shop closing for the night. His hands still stained from the engine work, the chrome bright. He hollered at me, asked about my mama's surgery. I told him she was healing, she was leaning on the deity. He nodded slow, he said, tell her Ray is sending prayers. This the conversation the gentrifier never shares. The Long Walk Boulevard, the network of the love, the quiet daily ledger that the city rises up. The Long Walk Boulevard, the rhythm of the soul. The Long Walk Boulevard, the legacy untold. The Long Walk Boulevard, every block a witness. The Long Walk Boulevard, the unbreakable lineage. Yeah. Dawn was breaking by the time I reached the apartment door. My own mama on the porch with a thermos in the floor. Swept already, the laundry already on the line. She asked me how to walk, I said the city is divine. She smiled, she said you finally seeing what I've been seeing. The miracle of the corner, the freedom of the being with the people who decided to stay through the storm. The people who refused to leave the boulevard warm. My mama walked the streets for 38 years now. She knew the names of every elder, she knew the vow. The Long Walk Boulevard taught me what she always knew. The city's heartbeat where the cameras never view. I took her hand, I sat beside her on the porch. The sun rose orange behind the storefront unmarked church. This verse a piece of testimony for the route I walked. The Long Walk Boulevard, the city we never forgot. Boulevard, the city in my chest. The Long Walk Boulevard, the saints I never blessed. The Long Walk Boulevard, the eyes I never met. The Long Walk Boulevard, the eternal day. The Long Walk Boulevard, the audit of the ride, city of the worker, city of the doubt. The Long Walk Boulevard, the chorus of the bread, the city full of saints, beyond unbreakable depth. Block sermon Sunday. The candles in the wind. The candles in the wind. Yeah. Block sermon. Block sermon Sunday. Yeah. Yeah. Block sermon Sunday. The deacons gather slow under the street light where the candles glow. No collection plate, no rows, no piano roll. Just a testimony of the unbroken soul. First Sunday of the month, the block holds a vigil for every brother lost since the system grew rigid. Mims Carter brings the candles from the dollar store. Mr. Otis brings the speakers from the auto shop flow. Deacon Marvin lead the prayer at the corner of the lot. With the mirrors caught the stray that the headline forgot. We pour a 40 out, we name the names aloud. We sing a hymn together that the elders bow. No pastor, no church, no ordained authority. Just the people of the block keeping the art in minority. The Block Sermon Sunday, the inheritance of grief, the inheritance of love, the inheritance of belief. We gather every month for 30 years and counting. Nobody prophet, nobody filming, nobody mounting. The ledger of the names is the only thing we keep. The Block Sermon Sunday, the harvest that we reap. Block Sermon Sunday, the chapel of the asphalt. Block Sermon Sunday, the testimony of the soul. Block Sermon Sunday, the city of the saints. Block Sermon Sunday, the eternal pains. The young homies bring the photos of the ones they lost. Little Marquis from the high school baseball team last frost. Darius the senior who never made the graduation walk. Tayshawn the freshman who the sirens kept the stop. We lay the photos at the curb beside the candle row. We call their names slow. The chorus echoes the glow. The abuelas from the next block overcome with food. They feed everyone. They say the spirits get approved in the laughter of the kin, in the soup of the tia, in the cornbread of the auntie, in the rice of the familiar. This is church without permission. This is church without break. The Block Sermon Sunday, the unmediated descent of the holy into the daily, of the eternal into the now. The holiness ain't in the building, the holiness in the vow. Yeah, Block Sermon, Block Sermon, Block Sermon. The deacons of the dust. Block Sermon, Block Sermon, Block Sermon. The only church we trust. Block Sermon, Block Sermon. The asphalt, the chapel. Block Sermon, Block Sermon, Block Sermon. The eternal apple. Deacon Marvin closes with a verse he wrote himself. A poem he never published, kept on the shelf and named the city of the witnesses, the city of the breath. To thank the brothers and the sisters for the unfinished depth. The candles burn through the prayer. The wind picks up, the spirits walk among us in the sweet wax cup. The young homies wipe their eyes, the elders stand still. The Block Sermon Sunday, the eternal will. We close with hands joined, we close with the silence. The Boulevard, the sanctuary of the unmediated alliance. We disperse to our homes, the candles we leave to burn. The Boulevard, the cathedral, the eternal turn. This verse a small piece of the larger sermon book. The Block Sermon Sunday, the chapter we undertook. Block Sermon Sunday, the chapel of the asphalt. Block Sermon, Block Sermon Sunday, the testimony of the soul. Block Sermon Sunday, the city of the saints. Block Sermon, Block Sermon Sunday, the eternal pain. Block Sermon, Block Sermons, Block Sermon. The deacons of the dust. Block Sermon, Block Sermons, Block Sermon. The only church we trust. Block Sermons, Block Sermon. The asphalt, the chapel. Block Sermon, Block Sermons, Block Sermon. The eternal apple. Yeah. Block Sermon Sunday. The candles in the wind. The Boulevard, the cathedral. The unmarked kin. Block Sermon Sunday. The key eternal vow. The city of the saints. The unbroken now. Yeah. 10 cents in a prayer. The gospel of the long zones. Yeah. My mama raised 3 kids on a dishwasher salary. No child support, no government allotment, just a gallery of neighbors who passed the casserole through the screen. Mrs. Calderon next door, the unwavering queen. My mama woke at 4 to clean the office downtown. Walked back at 1 to make us dinner, no frown. She worked the second shift at the diner till 10. She came home with the leftover bread, the only friend. 10 cents in the prayer was what she had on payday. 10 cents in the jar, the prayer kept us in the ray. No Christmas commercial, no birthday parade. Just the love of a single mama, the only trade. 10 cents in a prayer, the only inheritance. 10 cents in a prayer, the eternal ordinance. 10 cents in a prayer, my mama in my bones. 10 cents in a prayer, the gospel of change at the kitchen table light. Figure out which bill could wait one more night. The rent always first, the lights always second. The phone got cut off twice, the gas got beckoned. My mama never cried in front of us, never broke. She just kept the rosary in the pocket. The smoke, she never took a pill, never took a drink. She just whispered to the ceiling the prayer. The only link, she lit a candle every night by the small St. Jude. She asked for nothing for herself, just our food and the brew. 10 cents in the prayer, the inheritance she gave. 10 cents in the prayer, the kingdom she saved.
10 cents in a prayer,
the only inheritance.
10 cents in a prayer,
The eternal ordinance.
10 cents in a prayer,
My mama in my bones.
10 cents in a prayer,
The gospel of the Lord. Yeah. I graduated college on a Pell Grant and a loan. My mama in the front row in the only dress she owned. She cried for the first time in 23 years, not for herself, for the future without the tears. She said, baby, the prayer work, the prayer ride. The kingdom of the kitchen finally do arrived. I handed her the diploma, she pressed it to her chest. 10 cents in the prayer, the eternal blessed. Now I send her checks every 2 weeks, every season. She never asks, she never spends, the saving is the reason. She still light the candle by the small St. Jude. She still whisper to the ceiling the prayer, her food. 10 cents in the prayer, the inheritance complete. Oh,
10 cents in a prayer,
the eternal seed.
10 cents, 10
A
cents,
single coin,
10 cents,
oh,
10 cents,
the holy
10
joint.
cents, 10 cents,
My mama's
10
vow,
cents, 10 cents.
eternal now. This verse for every mama with the change in the jar. For every queen who carried the kingdom in the car. For every prayer whispered at the kitchen at 3. For every candle lit beside the saint of the free. The inheritance you gave us, we never gonna squander. The inheritance of patience, the inheritance of pondering.
10 cents in a prayer,
The eternal sermon, the queens of the kitchen, the unbreakable third.
10 cents in a prayer,
The only inheritance.
10 cents in a prayer,
The eternal ordinance.
10 cents in a prayer,
My mama in my bones.
10 cents in a prayer,
The gospel of the Lord. 10 cents in a prayer. My mama in the bread. The kitchen, the cathedral. The unbroken death. Beneath the streetlight, beneath the streetlight, where the city settles low, where the second shift workers shuffle through the blow, where the elders sit at 3 a.m. with the radio low, the streetlight chapel of the city we all know. Beneath the streetlight at the corner of Vermont and 54th, Mr. Hubert sit with his transistor in the breath. He been there every night since I was a boy at 10. The radio play oldies through the unending, then he nodded at me when I walked past. He know my name, he knew my grandfather, he knew the eternal flame. The streetlight buzz a little, the bulb need replacement. The city won't replace it. The elders fund the basement, they collected donations. They bought the new bulb. Mr. Hubert installed it himself, the unbroken hub. This is the city the cameras refuse to capture. The streetlight chapel of the Boulevard rapture.
beneath the streetlight,
The saints in plain sight.
beneath the streetlight,
The chapel of the
beneath
night.
the streetlight,
The elders hold the
beneath
line.
the streetlight,
The city of the divine. Miss Calloway passed through every Tuesday at midnight, returning from the hospital where she worked the night flight. She stopped at Mr. Hubert, they exchange a quiet word. The streetlight chapel where the deacons get conferred. She asked about his arthritis, he asked about his shift. They laugh about the supervisor, they laugh about the riff. For 5 minutes the Boulevard pause for the kindness. The streetlight chapel of the unmediated mindfulness. No app, no algorithm, no engineered connection. Just two elders at a corner with the eternal protection. The city at the streetlight chapel stretches block to block. Every corner a small parish that the deacons unlock.
beneath the streetlight,
The saints in plain sight.
beneath the streetlight,
The chapel of the night. gentrify the corner tomorrow. The Streetlight chapel will move with the unbroken sorrow. Mr. Huber will carry the transistor to the next block over. The deacons will follow with the unauthorized clover. The chapel is portable. The chapel is the bread. The chapel is the elder. The unbreakable dead. Streetlight. The chapel of the king. The chapel of the king. Streetlight. The kingdom within. Streetlight. The elders alive. Streetlight. The eternal drive. This verse is small offering for the Streetlight Chapel community. The ones who built the city's quiet underground unity. Mr. Huber 78, Mim Stalloway 63. The regents of the corner, the inheritors of the tree. If you walk the boulevard at midnight tonight and you see an elder at a streetlight with a transistor of the creed, don't disturb them, just nod. Just acknowledge the chapel, the Boulevard Cathedral, the unmarked apple, the Streetlight Chapel, the inheritors we owe, the city of the elders, the unbroken glow. This verse a piece of testimony for the route I walk beneath the streetlight. The city we never forgot. The streetlight. The saints in plain sight. The streetlight. The chapel of the night. Streetlight. The elders hold the line. The city of the divine. Beneath the streetlight. The chapel never closed. The city of the elders. The eternal pros. Beneath the streetlight. The eternal vow. The Boulevard Cathedral. The unbroken now. Brown. Yeah. Brown and black. Brown and black, the family, the maps unite. Brown and black, the kitchen, the city defy. Brown and black, the alliance, the news refuse. Brown and black, the inheritance we infuse. Brown and black, the cousins by choice. Brown and black, the eternal voice. The porch we share. Brown and black, the kingdom we bear. My abuela murder your fed, every kid on the block. Didn't matter the demographic, didn't matter the lot. Mrs. Robinson next door did the exact same thing. The two of them swapped tortillas and cornbread spring. They both lost sons to the same broken system. They both raised grandbabies with the unshaken wisdom. The police never asked them to declare they line. The police treated both their houses with the same incline. The city tried to set us up to fight against each other, while the same hand profited off both grandmothers. My abuela cried at Mrs. Robinson's funeral last year. Mrs. Robinson's daughter cried at my abuela's. Be it the family of the Boulevard, the family by choice, the family of the kitchen, the eternal voice. We a coalition that the red line can't suppress. We a continuum, the gentrify can't process. Brown and black, the eternal alliance. Brown and black, the original defiance. Brown and black, the elders held the line. Brown and black, the future is divine. The news love a story by the flashpoint of the streets. A fight at a school, a tag on the marquee that beats. They leverage the moments to drive a wedge between the communities that both have been slept upon and seen. But the truth is in the parents that the parent-teacher meet, united about the same lousy curriculum repeat. The truth is in the workers at the warehouse floor, united about the wages in the management board. The truth is in the kids at the same skate park, learning every trick in the language of the dark. We a coalition that the city can't suppress. We a continuum, the bosses can't process. My cousin Aria married Mrs. Robinson's grandbaby. See at the wedding, had mariachi and gospel choir. No fear, my abuela's tamales and Mrs. Robinson's gumbo on the spread. The whole Boulevard salute the unbreakable thread. Brown and black, the cousins by choice. Brown and black, the eternal voice. Brown Brown and black, the kingdom we bear. This verse a salute to my brother Marcus and his crew. This verse a salute to my compa Raphael and his two. We organized together at the council meeting hall. We organized together at the protest by the wall. We ain't a ratio, we ain't a demographic. We a single beating heart in the West Coast traffic. The new generation got the bilingual bilateral flow. The new generation got the abuela and the grandma glow. This is the future the developers can't evict. This is the chapter the curriculum can't edit. My own son got cousins on both sides of the line. He grew up on tamales and grits, the eternal vine. The truth of the boulevard, the cameras can't disturb. Brown and black, the family beyond the curve. Brown and black,
The eternal alliance.
brown and black,
The original defiance.
brown and black,
The elders held the line.
brown and black,
The future is divine.
and black. The family forever. The boulevard, our table. Black, the only endeavor. Brown and black,
The eternal vow.
the kingdom of the kitchen. The unbroken now. For the letter,
For the letter.
for the letter, my mama. For the letter,
For the letter, my.
yeah.
For the letter.
For the letter, my mama.
Yeah.
For, yeah. For the letter my mama wrote that I never got to read. For the letter she wrote at 34 when I was a seed. Found it in the closet after she finally passed. The folded yellow envelope, the unbroken cast. September 1992, my mama sat down at the kitchen table with a pen and a frown. She was 24, she was raising me alone. My father long gone, the family disowned. She wrote a letter to a future son, age 30. She wanted me to know what she couldn't say verbally. She wrote about the fear at the bus stop in the dark. She wrote about the joy of seeing me at the park. She wrote about the boyfriend who tried to take it down. She wrote about the friends who helped to keep the crown. She sealed the envelope, she wrote my name on the front. She put it in the closet at the corner of the run. She never told me about it, she never said the word. The letter waited 30 years for the unfinished birth.
Mama's letter. The word she never said. Mama's letter. The verses in my head. Mama's letter. The inheritance unfound. Mama's letter. The eternal sound.
Last December I was cleaning out the closet of the house. My mama had passed in October, the silence of the mouse. I found the envelope yellow with the time and the dust. My name on the front and the handwriting the trust. I sat on the floor for an hour before I opened. My hands were shaking, the air in my chest was hoping. I read the letter twice, I read the letter 3. I cried for an hour at the kitchen on the knee. My mom at 24 wrote to me at 30. She predicted I would find this letter in the dirty. She said she hoped I was a kind man, a good man. She said she hoped I forgave her for the broken plan. She said she loved me before
I was even born.
She said she chose me
Again, every dawn.
for every mama who wrote a letter she never sent. For every queen who hid the love in the cabinet. For every grandma who folded the photo with the prayer. For every auntie who saved the ribbon for the air. We see you, we honor you, we write the letters now. The inheritance of love, the kitchen always allowed. The sister singing to the mother in the verse.
Mama's letter, the eternal universe.
Mama's letter,
The inheritance complete.
mama's letter,
The gospel of the seed.
mama's letter,
The verses are now read.
mama's letter.
The eternal seed.
I I keep the letter folded in my own dresser drawer. I read it on her birthday, I read it on the door. The one she never opened, the one she never knew. I was waiting in the future to read the unspoken truth. If you got a mama still alive in your home, ask her to write a letter, ask her to chrome. The letter for the future, the letter for the son, the letter for the daughter, the letter for the run. Don't wait till she gonna find the inheritance. The letter is the kingdom, the eternal eminence. This verse a tribute to my mama at 24,
The queen at the table, the eternal door. Mama's letter, the words she never say. Mama's letter, the verses in my head. Mama's letter, the inheritance unfound. Mama's letter, the eternal sound. Mama's letter, the inheritance complete.
the queens of the kitchen.
The queens of the kitchen, the eternal seed.
Mama's letter,
Mama's letter, the eternal vow.
the kitchen, the cathedral.
The eternal, the unbroken now.
Yeah. The empty chair, the corner of the table. The empty chair, the unbroken cradle. The empty chair, the family hold the seat. The empty chair, the eternal beat. Yeah. Thanksgiving 24, the chair was empty. My Uncle Reggie passed the march, the kitchen plenty. My auntie still set the place to plate the napkin clean. The empty chair, the most occupied chair on the scene. We all knew the rule, we all kept the chair. Nobody sit there, nobody touched the chair. My auntie poured the wine for the empty chair too. My auntie passed the tamales to the chair anew. This is how we kept them present, this is how we kept the line. The empty chair, the most attended of the divine. My little cousin asked me why we set the place. I told her cause Reggie still got the chair to grace. She nodded slow, she said okay, can he hear us? I said yes baby, the empty chair, the eternal cherish. We ate the meal in silence first, the chair held the room. Then we toasted Reggie, the chair held the bloom. The empty chair, the corner held in love. The empty chair, the kingdom of the dove. The empty chair, the ancestors at the meal. The empty chair, the eternal seal. My auntie kept the chair like that for 7 years. Every holiday, every birthday, every tears. The family settled around the unsettled corner. The empty chair, the meditation of the mourner for 7 years. We honored Reggie at the meal for 7 years. The empty chair, the unspoken seal. Last Thanksgiving, auntie said, okay, time to release. She sat in the chair herself, she made the peace. The family wept and laughed at the same moment of the meal. The empty chair becoming the auntie chair, the seal. Reggie, the ancestor now, no longer the empty. The chair occupied with the next generation. Plenty my little cousin sat in my own grandmother's chair next year. The inheritance of chairs, the eternal frontier. We ain't never gonna lose the practice of the seat. The empty chair, the inheritance of the meat. The corner of the table. Oh, the empty chair, the unbroken cradle. This verse for every family with an empty chair, this shit. This verse for every queen who kept the chair near. This verse for every grandma who set the plate alone. This verse for every brother who holds the unrolled stone. The empty chair ain't a sad practice, it's a sacred truth. The empty chair, the inheritance of the unloosed youth. The empty chair, the way we keep the family complete. The empty chair, the eternal seed. If you got an empty chair tonight at your table, keep the practice, keep the napkin, keep the unrelenting cradle. The ancestors are watching, the ancestors are pleased. The empty chair, the kingdom of the release. This verse a small offering to the empty chair tradition. The family eternal, the unbroken composition. My Uncle Reggie, my abuela, my cousin Trey. The ancestors at the table, the eternal day. The corner held in love. gonna help forever.
The ancestors at the table,
The unbreakable endeavor,
the empty chair,
the eternal vow,
family of the kitchen.
the unbroken now.
Oh,
Yeah. Frequency. Yeah. Yeah. Frequency of survival. The channel never close. Frequency of survival. The gospel of the pros. Yeah. The radio in my chest been broadcasting since I was born. The frequency the city never recognizes the more. My grandfather tuned in 1946 on the porch. My father tuned in 1970 at the workshop. My mama tuned in 85 in the kitchen of the love. My own tuner picked up the signal, 1990 the dub. The frequency of survival ain't a metaphor or trope. It's the literal channel of the people of the slow. Yeah, we broadcast through the song, we broadcast through the meal. We broadcast through the silence of the streetlight reveal. The frequency carry the names the textbook leave out. The frequency carry the prayers without the doubt.
frequency of survival,
The channel of the kin,
frequency of survival,
the kingdom within,
frequency of survival,
the boulevard of life,
frequency of survival,
yeah.
the eternal drive.
My grandfather built radios in the garage at night. He taught my father how to solder the wires tight. My father taught me how to tune the dial slow. I taught my own son how to find the eternal flow. 4 generations on the same frequency band. Nobody licensed, nobody approved the unauthorized stand. The FCC never knew about the family channel. The FCC never knew about the unmediated panel. We broadcast through the cookouts on the holidays. We broadcast through the funerals in the family ways. We broadcast through the weddings of the cousins' kin. We broadcast through the Sunday morning cinnamon. The frequency carried the recipes, my abuela passed. The frequency carried the proverbs, my uncle mad.
frequency of survival,
The channel of the kin,
frequency of survival,
the kingdom within,
frequency of survival,
the boulevard of life,
frequency of survival,
eternal drive. The city tried to gentrify the band 1,000 times. The city tried to license the inheritance for dimes. The city tried to monetize the kitchen recipes. The city tried to commodify the abuela on the knees. We never sold the frequency, we never licensed the air. We kept the channel free for every cousin in the air. The frequency of survival, the only inheritance pure. The one the empire never gonna fully procure. My son listened to the frequency every night before sleep. He asked me about the elders, he asked me about the deed. I tell him the stories, I tell him the names. The frequency of survival, the eternal flames.
frequency of survival,
The channel of the kin,
frequency of survival,
the kingdom within,
frequency of survival,
the boulevard of life,
frequency of survival,
the eternal drive. This verse a transmission across the unauthorized band. This verse a broadcast for the cousins on the unmarked land. If you read and listen, you got an elder still alive. Tune in, tune in. The frequency wants you to thrive. Don't wait for the frequency to close on your watch. Broadcast forward, broadcast loud, no bots. The inheritance the city never gonna require. The frequency is survival, the eternal why. My grandfather tuned in 1946 on the porch. My own son will tune his children to the eternal church. The frequency continue beyond my breath, beyond my voice. The city of the channels, the eternal choice. This verse a piece of the broadcast. We owe the frequency of survival, the eternal flow.
frequency, frequency,
The channel never closed.
frequency, frequency,
The gospel in the pros.
frequency, frequency,
The cousins by the band.
frequency, frequency,
The eternal stand.
frequency of survival,
The channel of the king.
frequency of survival,
The kingdom within.
frequency of survival,
The boulevard of life.
frequency of survival,
only broadcasting
the unbreakable endeavor.
Frequency of survival,
The eternal vow.
the city of the channels,
The unbroken now.
Saints of the aisle, the chapel of the everyday, with the cashier and the customer, pray the same way. With the bag to know the elders by the cart and the milk, the quiet daily ministry of the unauthorized silk.
Saints of the aisle.
The deacons of the cart,
Saints of the aisle.
the keepers of the heart,
Saints of the aisle.
the kingdom of the small. Saints of the
Saints
aisle,
of the aisle.
the answers when we call. Yeah. Mrs. Park ran register 2 for 38 years. She knew every regular by their first name and tears. She slipped the elders extra coupons that the system never caught. She held the babies for the mamas while they did the shopping shop. She never asked for raise, she never asked for praise. She just kept showing up through the unending phase. Last December, the corporate office sent the letter formal. The store closing, the lease expired, the gentrified normal. The community organized a goodbye like a wedding. Mrs. Park got equipped with every regular's photo embedded. She cried at the register on the last shift Friday. The whole Boulevard came through with the eternal payday. The saints of the aisle ain't on the city's payroll, but they hold the city up with the unrecorded song.
Saints of the aisle.
The chapel of the car,
Saints of the aisle.
the kingdom of the heart.
Saints of the aisle.
The elders pause to bless.
Saints of the aisle. The eternal address.
Grind harder, son, till the saints are known.
Saints of the aisle.
The eternal stone.
Mr. Otis worked the deli at the same store for 20 years. He knew the orders by heart. He listened to the tears. He slipped extra slices to the elders who couldn't pay full. He gave the unsold cuts to the homeless at the dumpster pool. The corporate office never knew. The manager never asked. The community knew. The community held the unmasked. Mr. Otis didn't take the closure money. He opened a small shop 3 blocks away. The same price, the same stop. The regulars followed the kingdom, relocated home. The saints of the aisle, the portable soul. This ain't a story about the corporate failure of the chain. It's about the unauthorized kingdom that survived the rain. The saints of the owl outlasted developer chrome. The city of the cashiers, the eternal home.
Oh, saints of the aisle.
The deacons of the cart,
Saints of the aisle.
keepers of the heart.
Saints of the aisle.
The elders pause to bless.
Saints of the aisle.
The eternal address.
Wow. This verse a salute to Mrs. Parker, Mr. Otis kind. This verse a salute to every cashier behind the line. If you walk through the supermarket on the Boulevard tonight, look the cashier in the eye, recognize the light. Don't reduce them to the function of the swipe. The saints of the aisle deserve to recognize tight. My own mama worked the register at the Syria. I grew up watching the kingdom of the unmediated theory. The saints of the aisle, the inheritance of the work. The city of the cashiers, the eternal perk. This verse for Mrs. Park, this verse for Mr. Otis. This verse for every saint the corporate never quoted.
Saints of the aisle.
The chapel of the guard,
Saints of the aisle.
the kingdom of the heart.
Saints of the aisle.
The elders pause to bless.
Saints of the aisle.
The eternal address.
Grind harder, son, till the saints are known.
Saints
Uh.
of the aisle.
The eternal stone.
Saints of the aisle, the kingdom forever, the cashiers in the deli, the unbreakable endeavor,
Saints of the aisle.
the eternal vow, the city of the registers, the unbroken now. Yeah. Riding past the plant, the smokestack on the right. Yeah. Riding past the plant, the second shift in sight. Run. riding past the plant. My father's shadow walking, right, yeah, riding past the plant. The unbroken talking, yeah, riding past the plant where my father worked 30 years. The building closed in 2008, the layoff tears. 3,000 families lost their breadwinner overnight. The corporate moved to Mexico, the city took the flight. My father drove the route every day for 3 decades long. Clock in at 6 a.m., clock out at 3 with the song of the radio in the truck, the news on the AM band. He never missed the shift, he never missed the demand. When the plant closed, he was 58, too old for retraining, too young for the pension that the corporate kept restraining. He took a job at the warehouse making half the wage. He never complained, he just turned the next page. Now I drive past the empty plant on my way to my own job. The building boarded up, the parking lot aside by now. Every time I salute the foundation, the plant where my father built our family's nation. Past the plant, my father in the breath, riding past the plant. The eternal death, yeah, riding past the plant. The kingdom that he built, riding past the plant. The unbroken quill, yeah. Last year the city demolished the building for a warehouse. The Amazon distribution center, the corporate corrals. The new jobs paying 18 an hour with no benefits at all. My father wouldn't have lasted a week at that call. He needed the union, he needed the pension, he needed the dignity. The new economy strips every worker to the infinity. I watched the wrecking ball take the smokestack down. I cried in the truck like a kid in the unspoken town. My father texted me a photo of his old badge that night. The number 874, the eternal light. He wrote one word, remembering nothing more. I saved the photo to the cloud into the family lore. The plan is gone, but the inheritance remains. The father's work, the foundation of the unbroken chain. That's the plan. The smokestack on the right, yeah, riding past the plan. The second shift inside, what? Riding past the plan. My father's shadow walking, yeah, riding past the plan. The unbroken talking. This verse for every father who clocked in at the same time. For 30 years straight, the unwritten paradigm. For every mother who packed the lunch in the morning den. For every kid who learned to read by the truck on the rim. The inheritance of the working class, the city never honored. The statues never built for the second shift commoner. This verse is a small piece of the monument we owe. The fathers and the mothers of the unbroken flow. If you riding past an empty plant in your own town, nod and salute, recognize the foundation crown. The city was built by the workers, not the developer. The city remembered by the kids, the eternal endeavor. My father in the breath, yeah, riding past the plane. The eternal death, riding past the plane. The kingdom that he built, riding past the plane. The unbroken quill, riding past the plane. The smokestack still standing in the memory of the family. The unbreakable landing, riding past the plane. The eternal vow, the father's work, the kingdom, the unbroken now. Threadbare couch in the living room corner deep. The one that survived for decades, but the family sleep. My abuela bought in 1983 on credit slow. The couch outlived 3 televisions. The eternal flow, yeah. The threadbare couch where my abuela held my hand. The day my grandfather passed, the unbroken stand. She sat there for 3 days without speaking, just rocking. My mama brought us soup, the family kept the dock. In the couch where I read my first comic book at age 5. The couch where I cried when my middle school crush survived. The rejection of my note, the public humiliation deep. My abuela rocked me on the couch and held me through the week. The couch where my own son took his first nap on the chest. The couch where my abuela passed in 2020, the rest. The family inherited the couch. The family kept the rule, nobody throw it out. The threadbare couch, the family jewel. The cushion sag, the springs creak, the upholstery worn through. But the couch hold every memory the family ever knew. Oh. chapel of the family.
Threadbare Couch.
The kingdom of the deity.
Threadbare Couch.
My abuela's holy throne.
Threadbare Couch.
Yeah, the inheritance of bone. My auntie wanted to throw it out when we cleared the house. My mama said no, the family won't espouse the corporate disposal of the inheritance of love. The couch went to my own apartment, the couch we drove of. Now my own kids nap on the same couch my abuela bought. The inheritance, some broken, the eternal taught. My son know the couch is sacred, my son know the rule. Nobody jump on the couch, the threadbare couch, the family jewel. When the couch finally fall apart, I save the wood frame, I build a shadow box, I preserve the eternal flame. The inheritance ain't furniture, the inheritance is the love. The threadbare couch, the kingdom of the dove. This verse a salute to my abuela's couch and crown. The inheritance of the family, the unbroken sound.
Threadbare Couch.
The kingdom of the cushion.
Threadbare Couch.
The eternal mission.
Threadbare Couch.
My abuela's throne.
Threadbare Couch.
The family bone. If you got a threadbare couch in your own home tonight, don't throw it out. The inheritance is the eternal light. The corporate world tell you to refresh and replace. The inheritance teach you to honor the sacred space. The couch where the family gathered, the couch where the family wept, the couch where the babies napped, the couch where the elders kept. The inheritance the corporate furniture industry can't sell. The threadbare couch, the eternal well. This verse for every threadbare couch in every family home, for every cushion that hold the unrecorded chrome. The couch is the chapel, the couch is the throne. The threadbare couch, the inheritance of bone.
Threadbare Couch.
The chapel of the family.
Threadbare Couch.
The kingdom of the deity.
Threadbare Couch.
My abuela's holy throne.
Threadbare Couch.
The inheritance of gold.
Threadbare Couch.
The kingdom of the cushion.
Threadbare Couch.
The eternal mission.
Threadbare Couch.
My abuela's throne.
Threadbare Couch.
The family bone.
Yeah,
Threadbare Couch.
the kingdom forever. My
Abuela's throne.
yeah, the unbreakable endeavor.
Threadbare Couch.
The eternal vow, yeah, the family inheritance, the unbroken now. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Yeah, yeah. My cousin Trey kept a notebook from age 12 to 20, a composition book with the marble cover plenty. He wrote in it every night before he went to sleep. A private practice that the family didn't keep. We found the notebook after the funeral last year. 300 pages of his handwriting and tear poems about the city. Observations of the block, memories of his mother who died at the dock. Letters to his future self that he never reached. Drawings of the elders that he loved like a beach. He wrote about the kindness of the corner store owner. He wrote about the gospel of the auntie at the loner. He wrote about the brother he never met in person. He wrote about the absence of his father in the version. The notebook was his secret cathedral of the kid. The notebook was the inheritance the family did. Cousin Trey's notebook, the chapel of the boy. Cousin Trey's notebook, the kingdom of the joy. Yeah, Cousin Trey's notebook, the inheritance unfold. Cousin Trey's notebook, the eternal goal. I took the notebook home. I read every page slow. I cried at the kitchen table for the unending glow. My cousin had it poetized and observers carried a notebook. Captured the city, the cameras never shared. He wrote about the saints of the avenue I knew. He wrote about the ghost of the corner where he grew. He wrote a series of letters to his older self at 30, the one he never reached. The unfinished party in one letter he wrote, I hope you still notice the old man at the bus stop. In another, I hope you still tip the abuela at the corner shop. In another, I hope you still walk slow when you have the time. The instructions for adulthood from a teenager's rhyme. I've been following his instructions every single day. The notebook, the inheritance, the eternal way.
Cousin Trey's notebook,
The chapel of the boy.
Cousin Trey's notebook,
The kingdom of the joy.
Cousin Trey's notebook,
The inheritance unfold.
Cousin Trey's notebook,
The eternal goal. Last Christmas, I gave a copy of the notebook to her sister. She cried for an hour at the kitchen, the unwritten mister. She never knew what brother wrote, she never knew the depth. The notebook revealed the cousin she loved at the eternal breath. We decided to publish the notebook for the family circle. We printed 20 copies with the cover, his original purple. We gave one to every cousin, one to every aunt. We gave one to the old man at the bus stop where he planted the notebook.
now traveling through the family generations.
My own son will inherit a copy in the elder stations.
The inheritance of the writing, the eternal practice.
My cousin Trey, the unrecorded artist. The notebook,
The eternal page,
the notebook, the notebook.
my cousin stay,
The notebook,
the kingdom alive,
the notebook, the notebook.
the eternal drive.
This verse for every kid keeping a notebook in the dark. For every teenager writing poems before the spark. For every cousin we lost too young, too soon. For every notebook hidden under the mattress moon.
Don't throw away the notebooks of the kids you love. The notebook, the inheritance, the kingdom of the dove.
My cousin Trey, you the architect of my eye. My cousin Trey,
You the eternal sky.
this verse a tribute to the notebook on my shelf.
The inheritance of a teenager who knew himself. Cousin Trey's notebook, the chapel of the boy. Cousin Trey's notebook, the kingdom of the joy. Cousin Trey's notebook, the inheritance unfold. Cousin Trey's notebook, the eternal goal. Cousin Trey's notebook, the kingdom forever. The inheritance of writing, the unbreakable endeavor. Cousin Trey,
This verse for you.
the eternal page,
Yeah.
the eternal truth.
Yeah. For the sister. For the sister who held the night when nobody else could.
For the queen who carried the family through the darkest woods.
This verse, the umbrella, the system never formed.
For the sister who became the mother through the storm.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. My sister Lords was 16 when her mama got sick. She took over the kitchen, she took over the picks. Up and fire to braid the little one's hair. Walked all four of us to school, never show she scared. Never cried in front of us, never said a single thing when mama needed the medicine in the cabinet was thin. Lords got a paper route in the babysitting gig. Kept us in cereal, kept us in the rig. She said, don't worry, baby brother, you go on and learn. Let me handle the mountain, you just take your turn. Now I write the songs and travel and the people clap. She still answer every call when the siblings need a rap. Lord's 38 now, never married, no kids of her own. She gave her 20s and 30s to the family bone. She still send money to mama every month for the med. She still pick up the youngest when it's called breakdown on the thread.
Sister held the night, the queen of my survival. Oh, sister held the night, the unsung revival. Sister held the night, the verse the world won't write. Sister held the night, the one who held the light.
Lords never got to go to college like she planned. She applied at 24, got accepted in the demand. The family needed her, the youngest had a hospital stay. She deferred a year, then another. Then the dream gave way. She took the night classes at the community center slow. She finished her associate degree at 33 with the glow. Mama threw a party, the whole Boulevard came through. Lord stood at the front in the borrowed gown of blue. She gave a speech that nobody recorded, but I remember she said this degree belonged to mama, to the youngest, to the December. When the family gathered around the table without the food, the community filled the gap. The diploma, the only move. Lord's the architect of every word I write today. Lord's the eternal kingdom, the unbreakable way.
For every sister passion, every wound she didn't cause. For every sister giving till she questioning the cause. We see you, we honor you, we lift you up tonight. This song the sound of all of us standing in your light. The brothers gotta name us, the brothers gotta show. The brothers gotta carry what we've been carrying low. No more silent sacrifice, no more invisible work. We queen the architecture of the village in the murk. Lord, sister, the verse for your reign, the queen of the night, the eternal frame. We see you, Lord, we see you holding, we see you wiping the tears at 3 a.m. unfolding. We see you giving up the dream for the family kin. We see you, the queen, the village hold within. Sister held the night, the unbroken throne. Sister held the night, the kingdom alone. Sister held the night, the verse forever. Sister held the night, the unbreakable endeavor.
This verse for lords, this verse for the queens, for every sister who held the kingdom in the unspoken means, for every queen who deferred the dream for the kin, for every architect of the family, a mediator within. Lift them up tonight, brother, lift them with the breath. The queens of the village deserve the unbroken depth. Lord, some honor, this verse the verse you deserve. The queen of the night,
The eternal self. Mi reina, mi vida, the sister who held the night, eternal de vida.
doubts on goodbye, the call I never returned. Doubts on goodbye, the verse I never earned. Doubts on goodbye, the silence on the line. Doubts on goodbye, the eternal, divine. October 19th at 11:23 p.m. My homie Calvin called from a number I didn't recognize then. I was in the studio finishing a verse for someone else. I looked at the screen, I let it ring, I shelved. The voicemail came through with 3 minutes of silence. No words, just breathing the unspoken alliance. I assumed he butt out, I never called him back. 3 days later, his sister called me with the unbroken track. Calvin had passed on October 19th at 11:31 p.m. 8 minutes after he called me from the unrecognized them. The number was a payphone outside the hospital where he checked in. He wasn't supposed to make the call, he wasn't supposed to begin. His sister told me they think he just wanted to hear a voice, not to talk, just to hear a brother making a choice. I listened to the voicemail 30 times in a row. The 3 minutes of breathing the eternal blow. I never picked up, I never called back, I never knew the dial tone goodbye, the eternal blue. The call I miss forever. Down tone, goodbye. The unbreakable endeavor. Down tone, goodbye. My brother's last breath. Down tone, goodbye. The eternal
eternal depth.
The song my apology, the song my testimony, the song the unfinished verse of an unfinished symphony. If you out there and your phone ringing tonight, pick it up, brother, listen to the voice in flight. The friend who calling at 11:23 in October might just need to hear that you were willing to remember that his name is on the list of folks you keep alive, that his existence is a verse you keep on rewind. We got too busy chasing the version of ourselves that pop, we forgot the brothers calling from the corner of the lot. This song my reminder, this song my plea. Answer the phone next time, even if you're not free. Calvin, brother, this verse for the silence I owed you. The dial tone, goodbye. The eternal blue. Dial tone, goodbye. The call I never returned. Dial tone, goodbye. The verse I never heard. Dial tone, goodbye. The silence on the line. Dial tone, yeah, goodbye. The eternal divide. I say the voicemail, I never deleted the file. I play it on his birthday, the eternal mile. The 3 minutes of breathing, the only conversation we got. The dial tone, goodbye, the unfinished night. Last week I picked up an unrecognized number on a Friday. It was an old friend going through a hard divorce away. We talked for 40 minutes, he cried, he laughed. He said he wasn't sure why he called the unscripted crap. I told him about Calvin, I told him about the lesson. The dial tone, goodbye, taught me the eternal session. This verse a tribute to Calvin, this verse a vow. I'm answering every call now, the unbroken now. Dial tone, goodbye. The call I miss forever. Dial tone, goodbye. The unbreakable endeavor. Dial tone, goodbye. My brother's last breath. Dial tone, goodbye. The eternal death. Take it down, 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 down. Calvin, my brother, the 3 minutes of breathing. The eternal mother. Get the down, 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 down. Song goodbye. The eternal vow. Answer the phone next time. The unbroken now. Unbroken now. The workers quiet, the chorus of the second shift. The workers choir, the unsung gift. The nurses, the cashiers, the janitors, the cooks. The workers choir, the unwritten books. The workers choir, the chorus of the king. The workers choir, the kingdom within. The workers choir, the eternal song. The workers choir, the unbroken throne. Yeah, my mama at the laundromat, my father at the plant, my auntie at the diner, my tio at the rent, my abuela at the seamstress shop on Vermont and Slauson, my abuelo at the construction site, lifting the bricks for the housing. The workers choir been singing since 1953. The city built on the chorus of the unrecorded decree. Nobody made a documentary, nobody printed the names. The workers choir kept the city in the unbroken flames. My mama clocked in at 6 a.m. for 38 straight years. She paid the rent, she paid the bill, she paid the tears. My father drove the truck through every hurricane and snow. The workers choir sang the chorus that the city know. Not the city of the headlines, the city of the breath, the city of the unrecorded, the unbroken depth. The workers choir, the chorus alive. The workers choir, the eternal drive. The workers choir, the kingdom of the word. The workers choir, the unbroken perk. The corporate office never invited the choir to the meeting. The corporate office never named the choir on the greeting. The choir kept singing through the union busting wave. The choir kept singing through the layoffs at the my father was in the union till the company decertified. My father lost the pension that the corporate denied, but my father kept the chorus alive in the family kitchen. My father taught my own son the work song unwritten. The workers' choir moved to generational, the eternal band. The corporate office never gonna understand. This verse a salute to the choir, my family direct. The verse a salute to every worker, the empire neglect. If you got a parent who worked the second shift for years, lift them up tonight, recognize the unending tears. The workers' choir, the kingdom of the king. The workers' choir, eternal advance. The chorus of the king. The workers' choir, the kingdom within. The workers' choir, the eternal song. The workers' choir, the unbroken throne. This verse, the small offering for the choir of every name, for every nurse working 12-hour shifts in the unending flame, for every teacher buying supplies out of pocket for the class, for every cashier scanning groceries through the unending pass, for every janitor cleaning the office at 3 a.m. in the dark, for every cook prepping the kitchen for the breakfast spark, for every immigrant working the kitchen of the chain restaurant, for every undocumented brother holding the city in the corn font. The workers' choir, the eternal foundation of the West. The workers' choir, the unbroken, eternal blessed. If you a corporate executive reading this in your home, know the chorus is older than your office chrome. The workers' choir been here, the workers' choir stay. The CD, the empire, never gonna fully replay. The workers' choir, the chorus alive. The workers' choir, the eternal drive. The workers' choir, the kingdom of the world. The workers' choir, the unbroken pearl. The workers' choir, the chorus forever. The nurses and the janitors, the unbreakable endeavor. The workers' choir, the eternal vow. The city of the workers, the unbroken now. Auntie's recipe, the kingdom in the bowl. Auntie's recipe, the unbreakable soul. 3 generations of the family on the page. Auntie's recipe, the eternal stage. My auntie Estelle wrote the recipes by hand in a binder, a composition book. She started in 1980 to find her. She taught herself to write in English from the recipes she made. She wrote them down in Spanish first, in English in the trade. The binder traveled with her through 3 apartments in the loft. She never gave it to anyone. The family knew the cost. The binder held me up well as tamale recipe from Sonora. The binder held me Tio's Mo recipe from the Auntie Aurora. The binder held the cousin Marisol's playing with the bay leaf. The binder held the family inheritance unsung in the brief. When me Auntie Estelle passed in 2021, she left the binder to me in the will, the only one. The lawyer handed me the binder at the reading slow. My hands were shaking. The family inheritance, the eternal flow. Auntie's recipe, the chapel of the king. Auntie's recipe, the kingdom within. Auntie's recipe, the inheritance unfold. The eternal goal. I scanned every page of the binder. I made copies for the family. Every cousin got a printed version. The inheritance shared evenly. My own kids learned to read the recipes for fun. My son made the tamales last December, the unbroken sun. The binder traveled to my apartment, the original safe, and a fireproof box at the back of the closet, the eternal grave. Nobody touched the original. The family rule respected. The binder, the chapel, the kingdom unselected. My daughter asked me last week if she could write her own recipes. I gave her a composition book just like Estelle's Mercies. She started writing the family inheritance in her own hand. The inheritance multi-generational, the eternal band. This verse for me, Auntie Estelle, the queen of the recipes. The inheritance, the corporate cookbook never ceases. Auntie's recipe, the kingdom of the bowl. Auntie's recipe, Auntie's recipe, the eternal soul. Auntie's recipe, the family unbroken. Auntie's recipe, Auntie's recipe, the verse is recipe binder hidden. For every queen who wrote the kingdom in the unwritten. For every grandma who taught the family without textbook. For every uncle who kept the mold alive in the unwritten, unhooked. The inheritance of the recipe ain't about the food alone. It's about the kingdom of the kitchen, the unbroken throne. The corporate cookbook industry never gonna replicate the handwritten binder of the auntie that the family appreciate. If you got it, if you got an auntie still alive with a recipe in the head, ask her to write it down. The inheritance not yet dead. Don't wait till she gone to discover the kingdom. The inheritance of the recipe, the family freedom. Auntie's recipe, the chapel of the king. Auntie's recipe, Auntie's recipe, the kingdom within. Auntie's recipe, the inheritance unfold. Auntie's recipe, the eternal goal. Auntie's recipe, the kingdom of the bowl. Auntie's recipe, Auntie's recipe, the eternal soul. Auntie's recipe, the family unbroken. Auntie's recipe, Auntie's recipe, the verse is spoken. Auntie herself, the queen of the binder forever. The inheritance of recipes, the unbreakable endeavor. Auntie's recipe, the eternal vow, the family of the kitchen, the unbroken now. Pass the cassette, the eternal handoff. Pass the cassette, the inheritance not lost. From my cousin's cutlass to my own son's first car. Yeah, pass the cassette, the eternal star. This the closing verse, the final transmission for the album. For everyone who walked the boulevard with me, the unbroken anthem. We started at the eternal echo with the cassette and the chrome. We walked the long boulevard route through the unmediated home. Yeah, we sat at the block sermon Sunday with the candles in the wind. We held mama's letter in our hand at the kitchen end. We gathered around the empty chair at the holiday meal. We broadcast on the frequency of survival, the eternal seal. We celebrated the saints of the aisle at the supermarket line. We rode past the empty plant with our father's signal sign. We sat on the threadbare couch with the inheritance of bone. We read cousin Trey's notebook in the kitchen alone. We lifted up the sister who held the night through the storm. We answered the dial, song goodbye with the eternal warm. We sang the workers' choir at the kitchen table chorus. We inherited the recipe binder of the auntie before us. The eternal song, the inheritance long. The album never ends. Yeah, the verses I sing. Now the album closing, the cassette winding down. The Sunday King arriving with the eternal crown. If you listen to the album from the dawn to dusk, know the inheritance is collective. The inheritance is the brush. We a community of listeners. We a chorus of survivors. We 1,000 cassettes spinning into the next divers. My own son got his first car last month, a beat up Toyota. First thing I did was hand him the cassette of my motor, the one my cousin played in the Cutlass 30 years ago. The cassette of the eternal echo, the unbroken flow. We popped it in the deck, he rolled the windows down. The whole boulevard recognized the kingdom and the crown. Mr. Hubert at the bus stop tipped his cap and salute. Mrs. Calderon waved from the porch in the eternal roof. The inheritance complete, the cassette pass forward. 4 generations on the same band, the unmediated reward. The cassette outlasts the streaming service. The cassette outlasts the corporate purpose. Yeah, the cassette pass from hand to hand, the eternal route. Pass the cassette, the eternal shout. Pass the cassette, the eternal hand. Pass the cassette, the unbroken band. Pass the cassette, the kingdom alive. Pass the cassette, the eternal drive. For my mama, for my abuela, for my auntie Estelle, for my father, for my abuelo, for the family well, for cousin Trey, for Calvin, for the brothers gone too soon, for the saints of the hour, for the workers under the moon. For my sister lords who held the night for years, for my son who inherit the cassette through the eternal tears. This verse of benediction, the coronation, the crown, the album closing in the warmth of the unbroken town. If the mic ever go cold, if the rapper ever leave, know the cassette continue when the verses you weave. Keep the inheritance in rotation, keep the chrome polished slow, keep the family at the table, keep the kingdom in the glow. Mi gente, this verse for you, this verse the final real.
Pass the cassette.
The kingdom we feel, the eternal soul,
Pass the cassette.
the inheritance long,
Pass the cassette.
the album never ends,
Pass the cassette.
the verses I sing.
Pass the cassette.
The West Coast forever, the family of the listeners, the unbreakable endeavor,
Pass the cassette.
the eternal vow, the city of the cassettes, the unbroken now. Until the next album, until the next reel, the cassette eternal, the kingdom we